buying and selling sex is big business. I'm Linda Thompson. Welcome to the podcast Inside the Sex Industry. In episode 1, I meet Cassie to discover what goes on behind the blacked out windows of Edinburgh's saunas.
I am Cassie, Sassy Cassie.
Had you heard much about saunas before you started working in them?
I just thought it was a sauna. You go in and you have a sauna. I didn't think it was a place where people sold sex. I was working as a trainee hairdresser. I was on about £100 a week. It was a really crap wage. I replied to an ad in the back of one of the free ad papers, and it was women of all ages wanted, and I was thinking, I could work in a sauna. What, you're probably sitting on the desk, or you're giving people towels, or you're cleaning out the sauna and stuff. I was so naive. The minute I walked through the door, I realised what it was, and actually it was a brothel.
Whenever you realised it was a brothel, did you realise all that you would have to do?
So I kind of went along, and the guy was like, you do understand what this is about? And I was kind of like, I think so. And I was told that if you don't want to do sex without a condom, don't do sex without a condom. If you don't want to do anal sex, you don't do anal sex. And I was a bit like, okay, I kind of think I get where this is going. And at that point I had to tell them that I was trans, and would that be okay for me to be working in there? And they kind of jumped on board that. They thought, we can make more money probably from her. Because I was a speciality. I was the only pre-op transsexual there. The manager would explain about me, and they'd be like, I'm going to give her a go. And the girls didn't take too kindly to that, because that walk-in could have been theirs.
How long was the shift?
The shifts in the sauna were horrendous. Literally, you'd start at 10 in the morning till 11 in the evening. You couldn't have a half day. It wasn't like if you had been really, really busy, you could say, I'm going to go home. It was almost like working in a factory, Stuff comes down the conveyor belt, you pack it, it goes.
And how many clients might you see in that long shift?
The maximum I think I'd done was probably about 12 clients in the day. You had maybe 5 or 10 minutes to give yourself call it a horse wash, but where you just, give yourself a quick wash before the next one. So it was very tiring, really tiring, and it's made out as though you've got choice, but actually you're kind of not forced, but yeah, you do feel obliged to have to do any client that comes in.
And would that obligation come from the sauna managers, or would it come from the client?
The management, first of all, because the management would let you know that that client wanted to see you. Plus, you didn't want a client to know that you turned them down, because you'd have to be the one that had to tell them you didn't want to see them. So you were made to feel really uncomfortable, so you would just do it. So it's a bit of both, really. A bit of both.
How many girls would be on a shift?
How many girls would be on a shift? Oh God, that would really vary. The weekends were the worst, so you'd literally probably have about 14 girls on shift, and that's 4 bedrooms, 14 girls.
I wanted to know how Cassie's work in the sauna impacted on the rest of her life. I asked if she told her friends how she made her money.
I was 17, so when we were, because we're all 17 at the time, it was quite funny. Oh my God, you're working in a sauna, that's hilarious, you're having sex with people for money. So when you're younger, it's quite funny, and it's you want to boast about it, you want to seem like you're quite cool, because you're you're earning the big bucks and you can buy all the drinks and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of them knew from that age.
And would you make much money?
I did walk out with maybe a couple of £100 per shift. So for me, at 17, 18, amazing. Now looking back, I think, oh God, I wouldn't have sex with someone for 30 quid. But back then I was.
How much money did the sauna managers take off you per client?
They got the fee for the guys coming into the sauna, so the guys would pay maybe £10 or something, door entry fee, and then they would take say you were charging £30 for full sex, they would take £10. At the same time, when you are being paid money to do something, and you could be paid a little bit extra to do a bit more, you're kind of going to do that a little bit more. Stuff that you probably wouldn't choose to do, but you're being paid, so you'll do it.
So the money was a big factor in you going slightly further than what you thought at the start you might do.
The money was the only thing that was keeping me doing what I was doing. So it wasn't enjoyable. What was enjoyable for me was the cash.
Do you think the punters valued you?
No. The punters didn't value me. I didn't value them. There was no valuing involved. Any girl that kids themselves or does the job because they want to be adored by the punter or accepted by the punter or made to feel beautiful by the punter, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't glamorous at all.
Cassie doesn't work in saunas anymore, though I'm left thinking about the other women who still do. In the next episode of Inside the Sex Industry, we hear where Cassie went next.
Any pimp's exploiting. Any pimp will exploit. For them, they're making money. They don't care about the girls that are working for them. They don't care about their sexual health. They don't care about their well-being. They don't care about their mental health. Any pimp that claims that he does is an absolute liar.
This is a media co-op production for endprostitutionnow.org. Thanks to Cassie, to everyone else involved, and to you for listening.